Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno as we welcome you to the State of the Art Cinema exhibition. Mark, lovely to meet you this evening.
Hello.
Can you tell us more about the role of the Film Distributors Association, please, and your responsibilities?
Well, I'm Chief Executive of the Film Distributors Association, which is the quite long-standing trade association for theatrical film distributors in the UK, and those are the companies that release films in cinemas and promote them to audiences. So a little bit like the publishers of a book. And those are the great logos that you see at the start of the film. So when you sit down in the cinema, and the first thing you would get after the trailers and so on is you would get the British Board of Film Classification certificate. You then get a big logo from the film company, and then you're into the film. And it's those logos who are the companies releasing that film to audiences, and those are the companies who are the members of our association.
Can you tell us the importance of the media and promoting films, and why distributors are so important as opposed to maybe self-promoting?
Absolutely. Well, distributors are the crucial linchpin between filmmakers and film audiences. So it's the professional role of distribution which connects individual films with the audiences that those films were made for. So in the UK, distributors invest around 300 million a year in marketing, advertising, promotion, publicity, all the various things that you see, whether it's a bus advertisement or whether it's stuff in newspapers and magazines or whether it's dedicated websites or pages on Facebook or whatever it may be, all sorts of things, premieres here in London and around the country. Digital cinema allows for all sorts of regional activities now which weren't really possible before. But all of that activity which tries to engage public audiences with a particular film that's new or forthcoming, all of that is planned and arranged and booked and organised by the distributor of that particular film.
And one great marketing tool, and why we're here today, is the movie poster. Can you explain to us why the movie poster is as powerful a tool for promoting as it ever been?
Well, film posters have been with us practically throughout the life of the film industry, which is around 100 years now. And the challenge of the film poster, the great challenge, is to try and distill a story that you're telling in 2.5 hours into a single image which is compelling and attractive and persuasive and stands out among lots of other images. So not just other film posters, but all sorts of other images and messages and advertisements and billboards and notices that we see on the streets and other media around us. So it's got a massive job to do. It's got to stand out above the crowd, and it's got to pique your interest in a particular story and say, okay, I'd like to find out more about that. That looks great. I'd like to know more.
And with regards to going to see the film, there's obviously very many different mediums these days. With now we've got digital media as well. What is the state of the cinema industry in the UK at the moment?
Well, the cinema industry in the UK at the moment is very buoyant. It's very dynamic. Between 3 and 3.5 million people go every week. So last year, almost 170 million cinema tickets were sold at the box office. So it is very buoyant. By the box office, we are one of the biggest countries in the world. We're the biggest in Europe. We're number 3 or 4 in the world, behind America and China and Japan and so on, which are much bigger countries. America and China are obviously vast countries. So actually, in terms of cinema going, this country punches above its weight.
And with regards to audiences, what are they going to see?
Well, there's a huge choice. There's around, it may not feel like it always, but actually there is. If you look out for what's on each week, there's around a dozen films opening here in London every week. Films from all over the world, films from I think 35 different countries opened last year. The top films, the top 20 films probably account for, half of the box office, and then the other half is made up of a huge variety that people will discover, find over time, talk about, share over time. So there are all sorts of different things. There's those big blockbusters at the top, The Planet of the Apes, The Guardians of the Galaxy, so on and so forth. Huge choice of those films that seem to come along every week. The In-Betweeners 2 is about to, or is just here now. The Expendables 3 is about to come. And then an awful lot of smaller titles. So Boyhood, for example, which is one of the posters in the gallery, which is already on release, is a really remarkable piece of work there that's made over many years by a very prolific and clever filmmaker. So there is an awful lot of choice, and it's something that we hope this exhibition will show off some of that choice.
How does film actually fit into people's lives?
Well, fortunately in this country, audiences love film. We see, I think on average, we see something like 7-8 films a month each, so 1 or 2 a week. Now that's on all sorts of different media. That's on television or DVD or online, as well as in the cinema. But actually film is a very big part of people's lives here. Actually much bigger than, say, football, even though all the passion that there is in football and all the newspaper coverage that there is, all the back pages and pages and pages of football coverage, actually film curiously plays a bigger part in people's lives, and you wouldn't necessarily know it. But we love film in this country, not just British films like In-Betweeners 2, but actually films from all over the world. Who would have thought a year or so ago that a silent black and white French film would have caught the imagination of the British public in the way that it did? But more than 1 million of us went to see that film in just at the cinema alone, and then more on DVD and Blu-ray and so on.
And you touched upon, we're here at the State of the Art Cinema Exhibition. Can you tell us more about the exhibition and what it can offer audiences?
Well, the State of the Art Cinema Exhibition is on here at the Strand Gallery by Charing Cross Station. It's free of charge. It's on until the 22nd of August, and it's an interactive display of around 70 or 80 posters and photographs of films which are either here now or are coming soon, and not just soon, most of them coming soon, but actually there are 1 or 2 that give you a first look at films that are coming in 2016. It even goes as far ahead as that. I won't say what they are, you'll have to come and see. But there are competitions that you can enter. There are ways, if you've got your mobile phone with you, your smartphone with you, that you can access more content. So we hope that people will have a good little stay here, good little visit and a tour around. It's on 2 floors here, and there's quite a lot to see.
And is there a website that people can take a look at before they come?
There is a website, it's stateoftheartcinema.com, and there's more information there.